Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And welcome to the MCU Daily. Now, this is the first episode of something I might be doing every day if it catches on and if it gets views. I already do the DCEU Daily, so let's see how we get on. So finally, we have reactions from the critics and the movie bloggers and the pundits about Captain Marvel. So shall we have a look what they're saying? The future of the MCU gets even brighter, adding Captain Marvel to the mix. Really fell for Brie Larson's sass, strength and energy in the role. Same with Lashana Lynch too. Ben Mendelsohn is A+ casting as Talos. And yes, Goose is a scene stealer. Second viewing can't come soon enough. That's from Perry Namiroff. Right, Eric Davis. Eric Davis says, Captain Marvel has great 90s sci-fi view, a tone unlike any other Marvel movie. Really, it's retro and trippy, mysterious and dorky. It's funny in surprising places and badass in all the right places. It remains entertaining because it's always charging. It's got the right stuff. Well, Thanos is fucked, and that's by Anjay J. Hown. Brandon Davies says, fans of Captain Marvel comics are going to love the movie, plain and simple. Why are they saying that? Because fans of Captain Marvel comics are not very excited about this film. Stephen Weintraub, Captain Marvel, actually he's Collider, so he's bound to say something nice, isn't he? Captain Marvel is a welcome addition to the MCU. The movie is really well done with some great moments. Ben Mendelsohn steals almost every scene he's in. Brie Larson literally shines in the role. So ready for Avengers Endgame. Ash Grossman says, Captain Marvel takes deep 90s breath. Totally awesome. Never related to a Marvel character quite like Carol. She's the stubborn, witty 90s kid I like to think I am. Jackie Jing. Captain Marvel had space battles, car chases, an amazing 90s soundtrack, and an adorable, surprisingly fun script. Laughed so much. Great to finally see the kick-butt heroine in action. The initial critic reactions to Captain Marvel are near universally very positive, with many praising its original storytelling and characters. Screen Rant. Early reactions for the Captain Marvel call the film an epic nostalgic blast, but not unlike its hero, the film soars. Fandom Collective. Oh, well, it's not worth reading that one. Anything else? So, they're the reactions that I found for Captain Marvel. Now, I've actually seen a test screening months back, actually, for Captain Marvel. I said before, and I'll tell you this again, I'll be very, very honest, because I am honest, and anyone who sees my other videos will know that. I think Captain Marvel is a typically generic MCU movie. It's not, listen, it is set in the 90s. You do have music in it. It's got the same type of humour. It's got the same type of action. It fits in with the MCU. It's a very entertaining film. It's not the best film I've ever seen. I think Brie Larson does okay in the role. I don't think she's amazing. I don't think that her performance is as good as Gal Gadot's in Wonder Woman, but I think it's a really good film, and she does an okay job. I will definitely pre-order it digitally and 4K. I'm very excited about it. I was entertained by it. It was okay. I think with these initial reactions, they normally, unless it's a terrible film, are very positive. I can't remember a negative reaction for an MCU film since, from the moment we had Avengers Assemble, the first Avengers movie, it's been positive, hasn't it? The reactions have been very good for MCU movies. And I'm not surprised by this reaction. It'll be very interesting to see people's full reviews. For people hating on Captain Marvel and expecting this film to flop, it's not going to flop. And let me explain to you why. You already know why it's not going to flop. Because it's part of the most successful IP ever. The film's okay. It's the precursor to one of the most anticipated CBMs of all time. this film is not going to fail. Now let me speak a little bit about Brie Larson and what she's been saying politically in the build-up to this film. I don't think it's helpful. I don't think it's good. I think there's ways you could speak politically. I think there's ways where when you start talking about white dudes, it's a very negative way of speaking about a film. Listen, we know there's a lot of sexists out there who are not exactly enthralled by a female-led movie. Now, you're giving them, just like Doctor Who Season 11, you're giving them an excuse, right? And there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are very successful about talking a lot of stuff about Brie Larson, personal attacks. I will never personally attack anyone. She's an Oscar, she's an Oscar winner. She's very good. But ultimately, I think she hasn't conducted herself great. I will say that. And I have been disappointed, as I suppose you could call me a white dude. Greek Cypriot parents, a bit tanned. But yeah, I'm a white dude. So it isn't great. But at the end of the day, this is the era we're going in. Why do we have this chat about anti-men chat and anti-white dude chat? Because we've got a very, very bad man in charge of the free world, the President of America. And this has really triggered Hollywood to do things they would never have done in the past. And targeting white men, and males in particular, has been one of the things that's happened. There is a war on white men. It doesn't sit comfortably with me, but does it mean I'm not interested in the film, Captain Marvel? Listen, women have been treated hideously within the Hollywood community for a lifetime. We know that. Is that right? Of course it's not right. Of course it's wrong that we haven't had female-led movies. It's ridiculous. Hollywood is an archaic business that has never really represented women. But now, because it's cool to do so, they're doing it. I want to see women represented in a great way, but it doesn't mean we start to, trash men and we have less male-led movies, because that's not fair. Aquaman, an alpha male actor playing an alpha male character, made over $1 billion. So people will still want to see that kind of thing. There's got to be a balance. It's what I always said about Ghostbusters 2016. You should have had 2 female Ghostbusters in that film and 2 males. Chris Hemsworth should have been one of them. It would have worked. It would have been awesome. But they were so, they went down that route, which is what Brie Larson is doing. Now, to be fair to Disney and Marvel Studios, their marketing hasn't gone that way, really. But I will say I am disappointed by what Brie's been saying. I wish she could tone it in, but she's not. So in the end of the day, I have to ignore it. And I have to respect the fact that people who have been triggered by it, and it's not just men, it's women too, on people already giving it crap reviews without seeing the movie. Obviously, that's stupid. I'm assuming some test screening audiences have been posting reviews as well, so we can't just say it's trolls. Now, moving away from Captain Marvel, and I think we need to, because I could talk about Captain Marvel all day. I can't wait to see the theatrical cut. I can't wait to see it properly. A test screening isn't really an accurate reflection of a film, so really looking forward to that film. But Marvel Netflix is dead. So let me tell you what I think about Marvel Netflix. I think Daredevil Season 1 was really good. I thought Luke Cage Season 1 was really good. And I thought Jessica Jones Season 1 is really good. But what happened with me was I stopped watching the other series. I think it was the tone. I think it was. I think they were shows that you didn't have to watch unless you were really into those characters. And I think that was the problem with them. I think the first 3 seasons of what they did were interesting. They were great takes. But why have they all been cancelled? Well, this is the reality of the situation. Everyone's saying Netflix have cancelled the Marvel shows. It's not Netflix. The truth is, Disney are about to launch their own streaming platform, Disney Plus. This is a Disney decision. They don't want Netflix showing their content. They want to be showing these shows, and this is why they've been taken away from Netflix. This is the truth. So blaming Netflix, of course Netflix made the final decision officially, but officially if there was no such thing as a Disney streaming service, then these Marvel Netflix properties would still be on Netflix. Personally, I'm not into them that much that I'm saddened by it. I think these characters will live again. I think Feige will either implement them in their own movies or cameo in other movies, or they'll get their own platforms on Disney Plus. So it's certainly not the end of the road. I think Jeff Loeb penned an open letter to the fans, and I think Jeff Loeb's a great man. As a DC fan myself, I think Superman from All Seasons, the graphic novel he wrote, is beautiful. He did some great work on one of my favourite comic book TV shows of all time, Smallville. I've got a lot of time for Jeff, and I think his open letter was beautiful, and I think it was a really good communication with the fans, and I think those characters will almost certainly live again. They're not going to live again on Netflix because Netflix and Disney are at war now. It's as simple as that. You see, people say you've either got to have Netflix or Disney Plus. I don't agree with this. Disney basically have got Star Wars, they've got Marvel, right? They've got their animated characters, they've got their live action characters that they're turned, from their animation to live action, like the Jungle Book, Aladdin. They're doing stuff on existing properties. So Netflix do original stuff, right? So it's different. So if I just had Disney Plus and stop subscribing to Netflix, I would lose a lot. I don't know if I will subscribe to Disney Plus. It will obviously just be in the United States initially, so we'll see about that. But I don't think it's either or. So it's very sad for the fans that all these shows have been cancelled, but it's not so sad, because these things will live again on some format or another, either by being in films or either by being on the Disney Plus platform. So even though you won't see them on Netflix anymore, and that's frustrating if you're a global consumer, because if they are on Disney Plus, we know us people who live outside of the US won't have access to Disney Plus for a very long time. I think a platform that's spending so much money and that's so ambitious should start internationally from day one. I was disappointed that the DC Universe, the streaming platform, wasn't international from day one. That's disappointing. So for me, that's where I sit on it. So even though it's sad, I don't think it's that sad. So what do you think, everyone? Will you be watching the MCU daily if I do a video? Are you interested in what I've got to say? I'm very excited about the future of the MCU. I think it's going to be very different. Of course, once the Fox merger happens, we've got all the X-Men universe to see. So a lot of changes are going to happen. What I would say is, and what my concern is, if we do lose people like Evans as Captain America, who I think is a modern-day Christopher Reeve, and people like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, I'm worried we'll lose the personality from the Marvel characters. So one of the criticism of the Captain Marvel trailers is that Brie Larson doesn't show a lot of personality. I thought what she did was okay from what I saw. But, this does concern me. If these guys are leaving, and I think it will be stupid for Robert Downey Jr. just to totally leave, even if he plays a smaller role, I think he should still continue within the MCU. But he's not getting any younger. He obviously wants to go for the scripts that could land him kind of Oscar nominations and critical acclaim as well. Finally, I want to talk about Black Panther. I believe that Black Panther shouldn't even be nominated for any Oscars. That's how I stand. I know I could get a lot of hate for it. And there's a reason for that. I think that Black Panther is an okay, generic movie. I don't think it's a film that deserves critical acclaim. I don't think that film does anything that deserves any Oscar nominations or any Oscar wins. I genuinely believe it's as racist to give a film or a TV show awards because of the colour of the actor's skin. And it's just as racist to not give those people awards because of the colour of their skin. For me, it's racist either way. And Black Panther does not deserve the acclaim it's got from the Academy. I believe it will win Best Picture. When I look at Wonder Woman, I think Wonder Woman is a far superior movie. I just believe that film was better, and it was ignored by the Academy. A female-led movie, totally blanked, totally ignored. And the Disney element is there. I'm sure, I'm alleging, and this is just me alleging it, that Disney might have put a bit of pressure with all the power they have right now in America. So it will be interesting if Black Panther wins. I don't personally think it deserves to win it. Listen, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, if that was nominated for Best Picture, I'd say, yeah, that film deserves it. It truly deserves it. It's probably the best MCU movie. But Black Panther, an ordinary generic movie, which I really enjoyed. You know, I thought Chadwick Boseman was immense as Black Panther. I thought the cast were brilliant. I loved the cast. But the point is, Oscar nominations, Best Pictures. Come on, MCU fans. If you're honest, you know this is wrong. Comment down below, like and subscribe, and tell me what you think.